heard from me is still out there.
I'm sorry if I'm not editing this very well. To be honest, after the way that movie was, I don't give a so we're just going to do this fast. It might be different than our normal ones. Please like, subscribe, share. We're trying to get to 500. And what else? Oh, we saw Shazam. We saw Pet Sematary. Both of those are available to see right now on our site.
We even have a trailer reaction for this one. If you want to check out the trailer reaction,
yeah, we were super.
You can see the trailer for the movie.
Yeah,
that was completely.
We were very excited about this movie.
Yeah, I don't know how it teased us like that.
This movie is a lie. That incredible.
Looks pretty freaking awesome.
That has all the hallmarks of an epic movie.
I wonder. It looks like it may be like a little bit of a indie or
yeah. It has an indie vibe, but I think that's just because of the lower name studios, and they don't have any like actors that are standing out right away. Like I couldn't even tell who the hell any of them guys were.
It looks like it's gonna be like a little bit of a low budget,
but I tell you this, the music,
the music
is a lie. It's a god lie.
The whole trailer was.
I'm sorry. I have seen other reviews. There's a couple of them out there. And they're literally praising this to be the God's gift of
fantasy movie.
Fantasy dark.
Lord of the Rings.
Fantasy
It's
movies.
Lord of the Rings.
In one word to sum this movie up, well, actually, one word would be wow, but like a 2-word summary of this movie would be holy shit.
Oh, it's Lord of the Rings-esque of just massive proportions.
This is a movie that I think will have massive appeal to a very niche audience. And the movie I'm talking about is The Headhunter from director Jordan Downey.
I'm sorry.
No.
I know I risk getting 12 or 15 downvotes. Maybe 100 if I really try. You ever played like an RPG game? Say like Skyrim or Ultima or any of the online multiplayer games that are out there, you know, the best things in the game, fighting, combat in any multiplayer game is one of the best parts. Making the weapons, designing the weapons and all that stuff, and buying things and loot and treasure and all these things where you get something. Now, if you think of what the worst things in an RPG, you know what the most boring crap about World of Warcraft was in the old days, back in the 40-man days, 40-man raids? It was building your potions. We had, our guild had 100-something people, and we would farm potions and loot all day in order to do a raid. Healing people. It would take 5 to 10 minutes to heal people sometimes. It would take literally that long to heal every guy individually, and then people had to take bathroom breaks. And they had kids screaming in the background. They had all of these things. I had to hear about driver's license problems. I had to hear about people's mortgage issues. But we were a team. But this was absolute travesty.
It was horrible.
It was the worst parts of an RPG video game. And you got to watch it for 70 minutes. And 50% of that was just him walking around and grunting. Now, let's make some things clear. What did you feel about the actor?
He didn't say
anything. Did he do a
anything.
good job as a physical actor?
He did a good job staring. He did a good job grunting.
I honestly could tell.
I heard him talk maybe 3 or 4 times the whole movie.
This gentleman, Christopher Rygh, let me pull up his actual story in my Rygh. I personally think he could be excellent. He could be a lead in the Vikings show. He can be a lead in any combat show. He's sort of like an Arnold, but has really big presence. I mean, he was like Jason Balboa. Momoa.
I caught you saying Jason Balboa.
I said Balboa earlier.
He called Jason Momoa Jason Balboa. I had to call him out on it. It was funny.
I think, honestly, he could do really good if he had a script and a good movie. Let me read this. It's a medieval warrior's gruesome collection of severed heads and is missing only one. the monster that killed his daughter years ago.
Well, let's first talk about this.
Go.
His daughter. He has a daughter? I mean, you see a kid in the movie for a minute.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that that's his daughter, you know? The only way you know that's his daughter, for everybody who's doing reviews and like they're like, oh yeah, and he has a daughter, you're gonna have to read the IMDb page, because that's the only place.
Yeah, she could have been a next door neighbor. She could have been anything, because they don't tell you. No. They don't show you.
And then he's of course revenging her death, which you go, okay, you're revenging the death.
Of what?
One of what? How did she see her die?
Did you see her die?
No, you don't even see her die.
He could have killed her.
You don't see what kills her.
No, he could have. This guy was a psychopath. This man was not a Viking, as the trailer would lead you to believe. He was a fantasy
headhunter,
bearded bounty hunter that lived in the woods, ate blood and meat, and that's about it.
Yeah.
He didn't have any hobbies. He didn't talk. He didn't do anything except kill and come home. That was it. That was his whole life. His daughter, I hate to say this, and I could go to hell for this.
She's not even in the movie.
No, she probably wanted to die. She probably wanted to die, and I wouldn't have blamed her. If you'd have seen this movie, it is a most depressing, horrible place I've ever seen, except for the nice matte painting of the castle that we got.
Oh, and all the beautiful cinematography. It's like, this was like made by like an 18-year-old. That's what I felt like.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Or like, no, but it felt like a high school project that was like directed by like some person who went to school for cinematography. They know a lot of cinematography, but
I don't want to bash the guy for that. I will give it this, because you got to admit, the best part of this movie is the cinematography.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like there's somebody here who knows how to do cinematography. It's like he got some of his friends together and said, let's make a movie.
It's the problem here is there's missing pieces. And how to start this off is this gentleman is a non-Viking. He's some sort of warrior that was living outside of the kingdom in the forest. And his job is basically to go on contract killings of monsters.
But how do you know that?
You can summarize it because you see the castle, someone fires an arrow, spoilers, we're going to have some spoilers, and it's got the contract on it. And so he takes contract, goes out there, kills the thing, comes back. That's all you see. But here's the best part. The part where he goes off and kills it and is mortally wounded almost every time and comes back, you don't see that.
Don't see anything.
It's not in the movie.
No, there's nothing. All he does, he comes back and he throws a head, which looks like a mask you could buy at like a Halloween store.
Yeah, it looked like an expensive latex mask. Now, there are websites, like my dad has gotten some, that are amazing. There are some websites that can make these masks. They're like $300 and $400 and $500. Some are thousands.
Oh, those weren't $300 and $400.
These are probably masks in the $200 range. But you could see the teeth were kind of fake in the mouth, the way things were together. Even a skull he stepped on was totally fake because it had like sections.
Well, it's so dark that it easily could just be a $20 mask.
So yeah, apparently this man bounty hunts, and he's going after this collection of heads on his wall, and apparently we're led to believe his daughter was killed by these monsters. He visits her grave. He talks once in a while in the movie. Maybe like every few minutes he'll say something. I'm like hoarding your computer here. Sorry.
Well, it's
I'm losing my mind.
No, it's like he's when he goes to her grave, it's like he's taking pieces of them, like they killed her or something.
He
But
made like
apparently it
figurines.
wasn't.
Remember Gladiator, where he had the little figurines of his family, and at the end they buried him. That was a super moving moment. It showed him saying goodbye to his family, laying them to rest, and they were the little tiny little rocks that had been carved out. This movie, he's like, I don't even fucking believe in this shit. And he just tosses it onto her grave. He does it like 3 times. 3 times.
They said that these arrows can carry souls to the afterlife. I don't believe in it. But here you go.
I'm sorry if I'm hitting the table, but 3 times he kills the monster, which you don't see, comes back to the hut. Then magically he heals himself with this black goo that he made in a jar. And he takes this figurine, cuts it all up real nice, I guess, of bone or something. And instead of like being respectful and walking over to her grave, if that is her grave, and like putting it down, he's just like, got another one. Bloop.
Yuck is dead.
And that's it. So you don't have any like emotional connection between these people.
There's no way you can have an emotional connection. She's not in the movie. There's like one part in the movie where she's just like, she's like lying there.
That's it. Just looking at him.
And that's it. That's all
Like
you see of
with-
her.
okay.
Oh, and what's with all this teasing shit?
Yes.
The dragon. What? There's a tease of a dragon, and you get a shadow.
Get a
and
shadow,
I was just like,
and that's it.
God, just
We'll
please.
leave that to budget. I don't mind imaginary stuff.
It better be
But-
a f***ing dragon. No, it's
No,
a
no.
f***ing shadow.
I don't mind the imaginary stuff if it's a low budget. What I mind is not doing anything with the main story.
Yeah, but there was nothing going on to that point.
Nothing.
You know, we got, what was it, like 39 minutes, he finally speaks. 15 minutes later, he speaks again.
Let's try to have some positives here.
It was 71 minutes long. I felt like it was
A lifetime.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Let's have some positives. Okay. Visuals, we already went over that. The sky shots, the zoomed in and zoomed out shots of the forest. It looked like Antarctica's dead forest. It looked like Canada in the middle of the worst winter. It was amazing. These trees are like frozen solid and it's zooming over them. Cool. Images of him in his the costume for him was amazing. The bad guys, the troll things, because you never see one. Well, we both had a thing. I said, is it going to be practical, CGI, or is it going to be a man in the suit?
No, you know what it was? It looked like a fucking skeleton puppet.
It was
It looked like he literally had a skeleton puppet, and he was just pretending
like
to wrestle
this,
with it.
like, yeah, he was holding it up and down and yelling
And,
a lot.
and I was just going, oh my God. So is this the final battle? Is this the big battle? He's
he was just-
wrestling a skeleton puppet
Yeah, he didn't even
in a dark
didn't
cave where you
use
can't
his-
even see it. And it's like,
Didn't
and I'm
he
like,
use his
oh, God.
The first battle in this movie, we actually have typed out, I think it was at the 30-minute mark. And it was him squashing a spider. The reason I bring that up is that's about the only action you're going to see in this movie. And if you think I'm crazy, well,
Not until he wrestles a puppet.
about the only major action scene in this movie is him wrestling a rubber puppet. And here's the best part. This is the kicker for all the YouTubers that are saying how this is the most epic movie of all time. He caused the rubber puppet. He spilled the potion.
On it.
That's a spoiler. He spilled the potion that heals himself on the dead body of the creature he was
On the
hunting.
dead head. Because
On
let's
the
let's just think about that for a minute. You have a head. Now I can understand alchemy, healing some wounds, but you severed it from its body, a head. I don't think the alchemy potion is gonna help it come back.
It's fantasy. I'm cool with it. But here's the problem.
Okay.
They didn't even do anything cool with that. I thought it was going to be like suddenly a big monster or some kind of creature or a magical demon or something.
Who hath summoned me to this realm?
Prince of Darkness, it is I, Al Gore. I was almost president.
It was just this little slimy head. And then it put together a body and all that. And that was it. It was like...
the more I think about this one, the more pissed off I get.
It had no payoff. There was no combat. There was no fight scenes. The only violence in the movie was against the puppet, like we said.
It's just a guy walking out in the woods.
It's just a guy grunting, walking, yelling, and having a hard life. And that's it.
And every once in a while he comes home with a head.
And he comes home injured, and he smears this black goo. And I knew that somehow the only item in the thing was going to come back at the end, and sure enough it does. And it's like, I just wish they'd have fleshed it out before saying, hey, I have an idea. Let's film something about a headhunter that goes out and kills demons and kobolds.
And I think where we got a little off on the wrong foot too. Some of these reviews were saying sorcery and this,
magic.
And that.
Oh, yeah,
magic.
potion.
And we were getting excited. And I'm like, magic, yes. Potion.
What magic? It was a potion. That's about it. He didn't even make it like a normal magic potion. He just took some
like
guts.
fireball hands.
Done.
Some lightning come out of hands or something.
Something with like some kind of effects.
But there was nothing. Nothing. It was just nothing. To me, it wasn't a fantasy movie. It was just a movie set back in the Viking times.
Had some good music. Had some great music. I enjoyed the music. It was sort of like the trailer. Dark, spooky music.
Dark, spooky music.
It had a good presence. The film work was great. The camera work was fantastic. It felt like a high-budget filmed movie.
Yeah, I mean...
Except for they didn't have any sets. It was shot in just the forest and a hut. Everything else you see is pretty much just CGI background. Like the castle, fake. It was like 1 or 2 shots. There's no other humans in this except for someone you see in the distance. It's literally just him. Grunting and being pissed.
Kind of like the movie with Tom Hanks, where he's on that island.
Yeah. It's like Castaway.
Really bad.
It's Castaway if you got Tom Hanks just chilling and fighting enemies.
It's Castaway. If Castaway was set in Skyrim.
Yeah. No, it's Skyrim. It's the version of Skyrim. Where there's no fun,
it's Skyrim.
There's no action and no combat.
It's Skyrim without the merchants. Skyrim without the other people in the world.
There's no, well, I guess you would call them NPCs. There's no other people in this movie.
Skyrim if you went into the cave and it went dark, and then you walked out of the cave.
With this epic, dark fantasy masterpiece, as some have called it, there's no payoff.
No.
There's, even Conan was after the money. He wanted those Benjamins. Conan wasn't just killing to be killing and being Arnold and all that. He wanted money. He wanted women. He wanted power. That was Conan.
Yeah.
This guy had no motivation except just to kill, I guess, for his daughter.
Well, apparently he killed his daughter.
So he's not even getting, you don't see gold changing hands.
And think about it this way.
Or anything.
Connection to the daughter. The father should always have a connection to the daughter.
He had none.
If the daughter is going to die, but the only thing you see him do is walk back, pull back a tent, she's laying there.
And that's it.
That's it.
There's no talking or connection between the father and the daughter in this movie whatsoever.
No.
How that got missed by the 5 or 6 other
So how are you supposed to have
seen.
a feeling for any of this
It's
if you don't even know the connection they even had?
Yeah, the father and daughter literally had no emotion, connection, or anything other than her staring at him one time from bed. I guess you could say that this was an attempt to create a world. it was going to make like a world where he fought these monsters and they had the castles and the people and all this stuff, and you just have to basically visualize all this. You have to make believe in your head that this fantasy world exists and that he is a character inside of it. The problem is they just didn't do any world building. None. No villagers. No stakes. Nothing. You just had this depressing little house, and he left and came home. 5 or 6, 7 of the battles that took place in this movie were done off screen. It was like we didn't get even the final battle, the final boss battle, which is supposed to be this epic battle. I hate to spoil it, but like he said, it was the puppet. It was a little rubber puppet he fought in the little cave. I'm sorry.
All right.
But
let's just hurry up and get this done, because this movie to me is not worth it.
I don't know what else there is to say.
There
There's
is
nothing else to talk about.
There wasn't anything in the movie hardly.
There was no plot.
So what would you score it?
Well, I would have to say we're going to get eviscerated for this anyway.
This is a lot of thought. 1 second.
Yeah, it's going to go click. I'm going to say it was a valiant attempt to make a movie that should have been on YouTube. I've seen some incredible short videos. Yep. I'll probably put some links on here. Some of the incredible 10 to 20 and 30 minute short videos. These guys have made some. I'll watch one of them just to see how they are. This was a 60-minute long video that should have been on YouTube.
It felt like a YouTube short story.
Yeah, it should have been.
You're really correct there.
It was like a YouTube rap.
That's a perfect analogy for it, because that's what I felt too.
Yeah.
There was a time in here I was going, I feel like I'm fucking watching like a Skyrim YouTube video, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and there have been some good ones. I mean, there's some great ones out there. They make all kinds of neat short stories nowadays on YouTube.
Nothing happens.
No.
All the good stuff you would like to see from the movie, all the epic battles.
And I know people are going to say, the people on those sites are going to say to us, well, you have to use your imagination. But yes, but it only goes so far when you only give us the skeleton pieces. And you say, oh, look, he's getting bandaged. Oh, look, he's taking a potion. And that's it. We don't have a board in front of us. We don't have a book. All we got is what you're showing us. And it wasn't enough. I mean, it was beautiful. I'll give it points for the beauty, the drone work, filming. All in all, go watch something else. Hell, I mean, go if you haven't seen Conan the Destroyer. I mean, if Barbarian's the only one you saw, go see that. I mean, there are some. If you want to see story, you have to go see one of those movies. If you want to see visuals of what it's like to live in Iceland or wherever this was filmed, then this movie's fine.
Yeah, they got the sprawling hills.
There's no horror. This is not a horror movie. I repeat, this is not a horror movie.
Yeah.
No.
It tries to be, but it really isn't.
It's just him with a camera going around in circles, stuff like that, and some music. That's it. There's no scares. There's the blood and guts and gore that I thought was going to be in this. It's just him squeezing some stuff and making some, like, heads. I mean, nothing too gruesome.
Unless you want to consider the puppet.
Yeah.
I keep coming back to the puppet because it does look like they put some fake blood on him.
There was no man-on-man, warrior-to-warrior combat at all. 0. There was no sword fighting. There was no shield play. There was there was archery because they shot an arrow to put a note on it. But there was no other RPG elements in this, any action whatsoever. So, if you're looking for video porn of trees and forests, this is it. You will get off
Hole in the ground
on trees.
This was kind of like Hole in the Ground for me. Very similar.
Yeah, it was just artsy bullshit that was pretty looking.
It's shot pretty, but the acting, the story's just not there, dude. All right, so we got to get this done.
Okay.
And I have not gave my score yet.
I'm gonna give it.
You did.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
No.
All right, what would you give it?
So I'm going to give them 1/2 of a point for the visuals. I'm going to give it another half for the effort This took a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm not going to dog them for that. I mean, this was work. You can tell someone had passion for the film when it comes to video and everything else. They had passion for the costumes and the characters, and they tried to build something. And they tried to make the monster scary. They did in Aliens, where they kept it out of view. But the story was a complete failure. So I'd have to say this was a D.
Me? Here's what I'm going with. I don't know what happened. I'm confused to what I just watched a little bit. You know, there's no payoff, like he says. All you get, like I said, he goes into the cave and he comes out with a head. And to me, that's just rotten. And if you're cut on time, it's not long. 71 minutes.
That's it.
But you know what? I gotta give my score. Gotta hurry up and get this.
What is it?
D minus.
Okay.
Only because the cinematography. I thought they really did good with that. And you can tell the main actor, he does try.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they don't give him a lot to try with.
Oh, they could have done so much more with him. I thought he was going to have talks and battles, and
when they were talking on
this guy's great. I mean, he is. The guy's a great actor.
That's about all I really have for this one. I mean, do you have any more?
No, I'm done.
All right. So I think that's about all we actually really have. I think we just don't really need to talk about it anymore. I feel like we've put enough into this. Hold on.
We actually talked longer than what the movie was. Anyway, thank you for making it this long with us. We apologize that the movie wasn't better, but we want to give you our honest opinion. So we're going to try to do that, and this is just our opinion. If you like this movie, by all means, we want you to like it. We are not dogging you or your channels or anything else. No. We just find it interesting when people go that far and beyond to say it's one of the best they've seen in years. So, other than that, in that little disclaimer, thank you for coming by. We have other movies and trailers. We got Shazam. We've got all these other ones to check out. Please sub, like, and follow us. And there's our little guy.
Get us to 500.
500 would be nice. Yes. So, anyway.
Until next time, guys. See ya. Vengeance is upon us. 29:42. He says that at 29:42.
Your voice is getting really bad.
In this movie for the first time.
You gotta take a drink and chill for a second. As I can barely understand you, and I'm sitting right next to you.
Skyrim and no story.
No, we covered all that.
Oh.
Anything weird that we didn't cover?
Epic battles. There's these big epic battles.
This movie got me so pissed I threw my soda. Oh my God. Okay, well, now that that's over,